Hey guys, Jack here from the Life Fit Studio and welcome back for another 15-minute daily mobility routine. Today we're going to be focusing a lot in and around the hips. Just remember, what I want you to do is rate every exercise, so you want to be exercising somewhere between 3 and 7 out of 10. So if you have a 1 to 10 scale, 10 is awful pain or stretch or whatever the sensation is, and 1 is nothing, I want you to try and hit that 3 to 7 mark. And constantly try and reassure your nervous system, build trust and confidence by relaxing your exhale, keeping your vision nice and wide, and a good positive dialogue. Okay, so to start off, we're just going to get the full body warmed up on the toes, nice and warm. Start to shake out the hands, opening out the chest, so I'm crossing over with my hands. I'm starting down low, and I'm starting to bringing up mid-range, and then high up into the top range, working my way down, working my way up, again dancing up on the toes. I can alternate that dance on the toes, again leave the arms swing, really good. I'm going to take my left hand out in front, and with the inside of my right foot I'm going to come up and kick. So I'm bending my knee for this one, coming up and kick, just starting to warm the hips up just a little bit. Really good. Taking the same hands now behind, and this time the outside of the foot, just going to kick. Really good. And again, just bouncing up the toes. Just going to go for 5 nice big hops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. Going to bring the knee up, my right knee up, and I'm going to kick out. So a good stretch into the hamstring. Knee up, kick out. Next one, again, same for the hamstring. I'm going to take my left hand up high, so it's shoulder height, and go to kick with my right leg. We'll keep the leg nice and straight, and swapping. Excellent. Into some donkey kicks. I'm going to take my stance on my left leg, lean out over, take the weight, take the other leg off the ground, and kick back. Swapping. Kicking back. I'm starting to activate the glutes. Really good. Again, bouncing up. I'm going to take my right knee up now. I'm going to turn my foot out to the outside as I bring that all the way up around to the back, and then down and through, knee up, twisting, letting the inside of the knee drop in as I bring all of that up, around, down, up, let the knee drop in, so we're getting that internal rotation through the hip, all the way out, around, and back down. Again, for this one, try to keep your upper body where it is, don't be following the stretch. So again, we're going to go same on the opposite leg, so the knee comes up, I let the knee drop in, up around to the outside, try and keep my upper body where it is, back down, up, drop in the knee, all the way out, back down, through, drop the knee, all the way up, back down, and through. Really good. Again, hands come up to the inside, and just again, the inside of the foot. Excellent. Bringing it down to the floor now, so I'm going into an all fours position. So I'm nearly into a potty squat, coming into an all fours, but I'm keeping my knees up off the ground. And from here, I'm just going to create some circles through the body, so driving the weight out over the ball of my big toe, getting some pressure into the shoulders. I'm going to crawl that back, try to get my heels close to the ground, fully onto the ground if I can, into a potty squat, and coming up. I can use my elbows here to keep my knees out. If you feel you're finding it very hard to balance here, just stay forward in that position to get a bit of extra closing into the ankles, or grab a hold of a chair or put something in front of you just to help balance. I'm going to rock that forward again. This I'm going to bring my knees down to the ground. My toes are still tucked in under. I'm going to drop the knees out wider. I'm going to let the toes go. I'm going to try and bring my bum down towards the ground, down towards my heels, into that space. I'm coming nice and tall. If I can go hands free, great. If not, I can use my hands here to the side or bring them behind me. Again, just you feel a lot of panic happening in your hips and in your groins right now. So just breathe deep, try and reassure and build trust and confidence through the nervous system. From here now, I'm going to shift forward with my pelvis. So I'm pushing my pelvis through, I'm lifting my chest to the air, and I'm looking up and I'm looking behind me. I'm holding in this position. Big breath. Let it go. I'm sitting back to the floor again. Again, go hands free if you can. Try and get your bum as close to the ground as you can. Really good. The hands can come behind as we lift the pelvis through. Chest comes up, looking up to the ceiling and looking all the way back. Really good. Taking the hands out in front. Keep the feet where they are. Hands come right out in front. Try and bring the arse back to the heels, down to the ground. And in an opposite movement, we're going to crawl forward with our hands. We're really opening up our whole back. From here, we can start to add in some swaying side to side. Again, I want you to pay attention to your body. If you feel it more on your left hand side or your right hand side, you can lean off to one side, bring the hands over, give it a few breaths. Excellent. Bring the hands back into the neutral position. Bring the knees in back together. Tuck the toes back in under. We're going to come up onto our heels, straightening out the back of our legs and bringing the knees back down. Looking up. Lifting our knees up, bringing our heels down to the ground, straightening the back of our legs. Bending down, getting good length into the hamstring. Looking up. Lifting the knees off, heels down to the ground. You can shift the weight left and right. Bring your knees back down, but this time leaving them hover above the ground. And we're going to go for a little crawl, a sidewards crawl. Trying to keep your knees at the same height. And we can go forward and back. Whatever direction you want to go in here is all good. We just want to maintain a good position. Bringing it back to the ground. This time I'm going to go flat out onto my belly. I'm going to bring my elbows in underneath, keeping my pelvis in touch with the ground. I'm going to look up as high as I can. Big breaths in. Let it go. If you can manage it, place your hands on the ground, straighten out the elbows, and get more extension. Really good. Lifting the pelvis up, dropping your bum back to your heels, leaving your knees go out wide, coming back into the child's pose. Again, adding some sway, crawling forward with the fingers. Really good. Coming back forward, shifting the pelvis all the way through. And looking up. Excellent. Coming back into an all fours position. We're going to tilt our pelvis here. So what I want you to imagine is if you had a tail and you're going to stick that tail up in the air and then you're going to tuck that tail in between your legs. So the initial movement is just down in the pelvis, but if you wanted to continue that right up into the spine, lower spine, mid spine, upper spine, finishing off with the neck into a nice curl, and then reversing, starting with the pelvis, sticking the tail in the air, going up to the mid back, upper back, finally the neck looking all the way up. But for this next movement, the area I want you most connected with is this tilting of the pelvis. Tucking the tail in, sticking it in the air. Tucking the tail in, sticking it in the air. For the next exercise, if you're struggling with connecting with the pelvis, just come back to this exercise and regain this connection. I'm now going to take my left foot and place it where my right hand is. And I'm going to come up. So in this position, my heel should be directly under my knee here, and my knee on the right hand side should be directly under my hip. So from here I shouldn't feel any stretch. But now if I can still control that tail movement, I'm going to tuck my tail in between my legs, and that opens up the front of my hip flexor here. So again, I'm aiming for that 3 to 7 out of 10. I'm breathing. Once the stretch gets easy, I want to look how can I vary it. So with that tail engaged, now if I want, I can begin to move forward. But I don't want to lose that tail tuck and move forward. So only if we're tucked, then we can move forward. Another good way to get a bit of extra stress out of this is with my kneeling side, I'm going to clinch this glute. So I'm going to clinch that butt cheek. As I squeeze that, I'll feel that pull open more to the front and release. And squeeze and release. Another good way to get variation into this is take my right hand up over my head, off to the left hand side, and leaning my body out over here. But I'm still engaged in that tail tuck. I'm not letting that go. I'm keeping that engaged through here, staying nice and tall in my spine. Okay, I'm going to place my hands back down so my right hand comes next to my left foot. My left hand replaces my left foot as my left foot comes back. And I now take my right foot to where my right hand is, and I come up. So again, my heel is under my knee, and then this knee is under the hip. So again, I want to regain that control of that tail tuck, so I'm going to tuck tail in between my legs, and again, I'm going to breathe. Some of us, this may be too much of a stretch as it is. For others, we might need more. So again, I might clinch my left butt cheek in this instance and squeeze through. I can release, or with the tail engaged, I can begin to move forward into more of a lunge, but I don't want to lose that tuck, because otherwise I'll just end up extending my low back too much, and I won't like that very much. So again, I'm tucking here. I can take my left hand up over my head, reaching off to the right hand side, staying nice and tall, opening up my whole left side. Reaching out over to the side and slightly backwards if anything. Excellent. Left hand comes back down, right hand comes back down. Right knee goes back in position. I'm going to bring my knees in together. I'm going to sit back to my heels, and I'm just going to bring my hands behind me. And again, get a bit of a stretch into the quads, extension through the low back. Breathe. Really good. Taking this now to the floor, I'm going to cross my legs. So both hips now are in external rotation, and from here I'm using my upper body as a lever. So within this space, the lever might find different stresses. So right here I might feel nothing, but over here I might feel a little bit extra, so I might stay here. I might move my body and experiment. Again, I'm trying to develop calmness and trust through the nervous system. So I'm using my upper body with my hips biased in external rotation. Really good. I'm going to take my hands behind me, place my feet out nice and wide. I'm going to drop one knee in at a time, get some internal rotation stretch. But I don't want that to take my body with it. I want to keep my body where it was. Really good. I'm going to swap sides. Just to show you, you can do this in a lying down position. So we're lying down, and if you wanted an extra stretch, you can bring your foot up on top here to get more of an internal rotation stretch. If your hip is stiff, you'll notice that more of your back comes off of the floor, so you want to keep as much of it here as you possibly can. So you might even use your arm reaching over, keep you in that position. Really good. Coming back into center. Again, from here, trying to get nice and tall in your spine, and we're just going to lean out over in front. Keeping that height in the spine and leaning back. And forward, and back, and forward, and back. Last one for today, we're just going to progress a small bit into our potty squat again. So again, I'm coming to this all fours position, I'm tucking my toes in underneath, and I'm crawling myself back towards that potty squat. Just spending time where I feel I need it most. If I'm stiff here, maybe over the big toe, I might stay over the big toe and bounce in and out of those. Maybe dropping my knees down. If you're feeling it more in the ankles, start to shift your weight backwards. If you can finally get to where your heels are on the ground, maybe take your balance again, using the elbows, pulling the knees out, trying to stay nice and tall on the spine. And that is it for today. Again, what I encourage you to do, go through today's session, pick out a few areas, 2 to 3 areas that you felt most affected. I want you to rate it out of 10. Hopefully it'll be somewhere between 3 and 7. And this is 1 day a week, so take the rest of your 6 days. So if you have 3 areas, say your hamstring, your left glute and your right calf, well then you have 2 days each to do a bit of a routine around stretching those areas most effectively. Thank you again for watching. I'm Jack at the Life Fit Studio. We would love to hear from you, so any feedback, comments or questions or any videos you'd like us to do, please hit us up. We're on Instagram and Facebook at Life Fit Studios, or you can hit me up personally at jackohalloran_IE. So till the next time, stay happy, stay healthy, stay strong, mind your fellow humans and go with love. Yours in health, Jack.